Good morning, guys. Um, this morning I'm going to do something a little different. Um, I'm going to try not to make it too long with too much talking because I am reading two sort of lengthy readings. But I do have to explain a little bit. First of all, um, I'm going to be doing two Bible readings. Now, I've been away from Christianity for a very, very long time. I have been, even when I was still considering myself a Christian, I had sort of been out of the church. I said I was going to kind of give the reasoning behind that one day, but nevertheless, um, I'm I was out even then for a little while. Um, what I was doing was I was kind of just going to church because you're supposed to go to church. So I had found a church and I was kind of going whenever I had off days or something like that. I was able to go, so I would go. But anyway, long story short, I'm going to be reading this morning Revelation 21, and I'm going to read Revelation 22 because last night I don't do a lot of Bible reading anymore because I've learned so much about Christianity and the Bible, and how they stole texts and how they put stuff in and took stuff out, and everything. But I never really completely gave up on the Bible, only because I do know that our sacred texts are in there, and I do know that things are in there to be understood if they're presented right. And so, coming from the Christian perspective, and I'm going to have to use my tablet because I can't, I have to pull up these scriptures. And to be very, very honest, I don't know where my actual Bible is. I do have the scriptures Bible. And I have an Apocrypha over there. I have a few things, but I can't seem to find that King James Bible. But anyway, that's the version that I want to read from because it's the version that most of us know. Um, so, um, you know, one of the things that needs to be understood is that a lot of us, when we come into what we call consciousness or to a new state of awareness, a new way of looking at things, this is really all that consciousness is. It's an awakening. It's an arrival. It is a new way of looking at things. It's your eyes are open. Your third eye is open. That's your mind's eye. Your third eye. That's all that is. The eye of your mind. And so, once we come, a lot of times, people into this conscious movement or into being conscious. I don't put myself into a movement. I don't think consciousness needs to be a movement. I think right now the world is going into conscious mode, all of us. And then you don't need anyone to preach to you or to sell you consciousness. And once again, this is what I see happening really with so many of our black people. You have these people who are calling themselves conscious leaders. They're calling themselves pharaohs. They're calling themselves all kind of Greek Egyptians who came back from the dead. And I mean, to me, it's one big clown show sponsored by the white man to give black people more confusion. And that's what I see. I see no help or enlightenment in this new so-called conscious community. So, um, as I said, I want to read these chapters because 21 and 22, and I want to read them because and this may be a part two, but I want to read them because, like I said, a lot of times when people start saying that their consciousness or conscious or start getting into a conscious a conscious, becoming more conscious minded, they start, wanting to put the Bible down, the whole Bible completely down. And that's not me. I'm not putting the whole Bible down, because, as I said, there are sacred texts are in there. So anyway, I pulled it up, I found it, and um, I want to go into the beginning of reading some of these scriptures the way that it was presented to me on last night. I mean, I really hadn't picked up the Bible in a minute, and when I did and I read, it was just in my spirit to read Revelation 21 and 22. And when I did, man, the beauty of it that just popped out at me was just amazing, and I wanted to share it. So. Let's just go ahead and get right into it, okay? Um, it says here, Revelation chapter 21, and it says, "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea." Now, the thing that opened my eyes first when I first read that, um, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away. What this is talking about is a state of consciousness. It is the state of consciousness and awareness that is going to get us to this fifth dimension where our planet is actually going as we speak. Um, Please do some study. I am not one to really bring about a whole bunch of study materials and everything. I will tell you what I get, what I receive, and then I will let you do your own research. So I'm asking you to do research on Sirius, the planet that Osiris, however you want to pronounce it, that has come into our orbit, or into our it's coming to view now. It's back with us. Please read about this new age that ran, this new age of Aquarius, um, this new state of awareness, this new state of heightened consciousness, and how to get yourself to where you need to be to enter fully and freely into this new dimension. So these scriptures are really speaking about that last level of consciousness that we're going to finally and fully be aware of. So many of us think it's about, going to this place up in the sky with a white Jesus and, enjoying all the beauty of, what's going on there. It's not. This is about the earth. This is about, as I just said, this new heightened sense of consciousness and getting to where you actually need to be your full conscious level. So in order to do that, a consciousness is an awakening. And so it says that I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away. The old way of doing things is already being passed away right now as we speak. Um, we are in a new age. The old things that used to work, that used to get by, that man used to be able to get away with, it's just not going to work in the fifth dimension. And so being able to see with your mind's eye, with this new consciousness, a new heaven and a new earth, this is what this is talking about. That new heightened sense of consciousness, this new state of consciousness, and being able to see the world and the earth differently. Um, the old is passed away. You're going to be seeing with a new conscious eye, a new conscious mind. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Let me talk a little bit. I don't have that particular scripture, but there is a scripture even in our Bible. It's in the New Testament, and maybe I should have looked that up, but I wasn't thinking about it. The new heaven is Africa. The new, what we're going to be seeing is a re-establishment of Africa. Africa is heaven, and when you think about the fact that the whole world used to be Africa, what happened with Africa is Africa began to break up during time. It began to break up. Some of it was like weather related. Most of it was rather weather related, where these parts just began to break off. And I have even had, or even heard a little research that some of these things are going to be destroyed now, and Africa is going to come back together again. The all of the places that we have here right now um, may not be apart anymore, but Africa is coming back together. It is going to be the New Jerusalem. It is the New Jerusalem, Holy Mount Zion, that a lot of the Rastafari preaches and sings about, is what I'm trying to say, that they sing about Holy Mount Zion. That is Mount Kilimanjaro. Mount Kilimanjaro is in Africa. That is Holy Mount Zion. Um, okay, let's see. Is a bride prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, "Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God." Um, as I said, this is speaking of Africa. This is speaking of a new revival of Africa, and really anybody who has any sense, understanding and knowing and realizing that. Because as I said, the whole earth was once Africa anyway. It just all broke up. It's not about necessarily you having to necessarily go and journey back to Africa. It doesn't really have to do with that physical, literal stuff. And that's one of the things that I wanted to bring up too about the Bible. They have us looking at the Bible so literally until so many people get confused about it. It's not a literal book. It is not a literal book. It's a book of you really can read the Bible almost any way you want to, but if you have your third eye open, if your mind is open and aware, you're going to see the truth of what you need to see in the Bible, even those things that are not supposed to be there that they put in and added. So says that, and God shall wipe away, this is verse 4, God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, no, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things have passed away. Once again, this is coming into that conscious mindset. Once the cares and things of this world have gone and we have surpassed them, and we've learned how to live on a much higher vibration, there will be no need for tears. This earth, this planet right now, is designed with so much pain, so much hurt, so many things make us cry, and it's a lot of things are very unnecessary. For a family to get kicked out of their home and wind up on the streets and crying and hurting and in sorrow and in pain because they can't pay the bill or they can't pay their rent is a condition of this wicked world and wickedness and the greed of man. But once we get to where we need to be and realize that in a conscious state and in the highest level of consciousness, you don't even need money, because everything on this earth is given for free. That's going to be the beauty of getting back to the full understanding, or this new consciousness of Africa, and what it is and what it has to offer us. You see, what has happened is men came into this world and they corrupted it. Everything was free. Water was free. Air was free. you know, you didn't have to fight and give some man some money so that you could have somewhere to stay for your family. You didn't have to do that. It was all free. And so once we get to this highest level of consciousness and realize there is no need for money, there is no need for monetary, you don't have to pay somebody to go to a national park and look at birds. You don't have to do that. That comes with an awareness of consciousness. And we have been asleep. We have been asleep for a very long time. The awakening is coming, or has come. It's not fully come, but the awakening is coming the closer we get to the planet Sirius. And that's how that is happening. This tablet goes off automatically, so bear with me. But anyway, no more pain, no more pain, um, no more crying. The former things have passed away. There's going to be no need to cry. I mean, really, why do people cry? Because of death. They cry because of lack. They cry because of loneliness. They cry. I mean, all of these things are not going to be in this higher state of consciousness, because we're not going to need to separate. We're not going to need. There's not going to be any need for things to die and leave and go away from us. A lot of that is stuff that's on a physical level. Anyway, let me move on here. And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. And he said unto me, It is done. I am Alpha, I am Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst a fountain of water of life freely. And that's life. Water is life. Water is that life that you need to live and survive. I mean, you can't do or go anywhere without water. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. He that overcometh. Right now, we're in, like I said, a state of us really trying to come. Okay, let me see how to explain it. We are in a time right now where we're in a transition. Many are awakening up to consciousness. Many are on different levels. Some are not going to make it. And the only reason that they're not going to make it is because by choice. They don't want to. You used to hear people say that, if God don't send anybody to hell, God, and, keep anybody out of heaven. If you don't get there, it's because you don't want to. That's the same thing with this conscious arrival. There's books, there's knowledge, there's understanding out here for everybody. And the only way that you're going to raise your consciousness, your vibrations, is by learning and seeking and growing your understanding, eating better food, and living by the laws of the universe, the laws of Ma'at, the laws of nature. These are the things. This is the way we should be living, not even by the laws of man. Because if the laws of man line up with the laws of nature and Ma'at and the universe, then it's right and it's true, and you're going to be doing that anyway. You don't have to create new laws for people to obey you. That's part of this wickedness of this world. But anyway, he that overcometh. And when it talks about he that overcometh, it's he that has finally been able to reach that level of consciousness and overcome the things of this old world, this old way of thinking, this old mindset. It's this new awakening. Then you will inherit all things, because you have left that old mindset behind. You can see new now. But the fearful, the unbelieving, the abominable, the murderers, the whoremongers, the sorcerers, idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake that burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Now, let me break down the fearful and the unbelieving. A lot of times fearful and unbelieving goes hand in hand, because fear causes you not to believe. Fear keeps you from so many things. Fear keeps your mind closed. Fear keeps you from taking that next step. the unbelieving. There are so many, as I said, who are going to be left out because they just don't believe. They won't believe. They they're too afraid to believe. That's why I say fear and unbelieving goes hand in hand. Um, you're not going to reach this new level of consciousness being fearful and not believing new things. You have to get this old mindset out of you. The old ways of the things that we were taught from birth to growing up, so much of it is a lie in this world, and you have to reteach and retrain yourself. You have to. Otherwise, you're just not going to make it. You can call it what you want, but you're just not going to be able to get to the level that you're supposed to. The fearful, unbelieving, abominable, whatever you're doing, that's an abominable activity. Not even necessarily according to the Bible, an abominable activity. Murderers, we know what that is. We know what a whoremonger is. We know what a sorcerer is. A sorcerer also is one of those things where it's not just people, doing black magic, or just, those people casting spells or whatever. It's these people who are living by that, who are living that type of way. We know that in this world, most of the elite are Freemasons. Most of the elite are those that are practicing old ancient Egyptian and old ancient um, rituals and things of our forefathers, and they are perverting it. This world has been given to Satan. We know that, to evil entities. Let me say that. This world has been given to evil entities by those who run this world. These are the elite. These are those in power. These are those who have, uh, who have given themselves over for that power and um, for that uh, power and money and elite status. Most of these people are very wicked and evil, and practice living wickedly, evilly, and they practice these spells and these spells. It's kind of hard for me to fully put into words what I'm trying to say, but I think that we know that most of the elite in this world are into all different kinds of clubs, all different kinds of organizations. Like I say, Freemasonry. There are a lot of them are into just a whole bunch of things that are wicked and evil, but it brings and causes these entities from other dimensions even to come in and to help them, and they've been helping them for a very, very long time. And this is what also coming into this new state of consciousness is going to do. Those things that they used to do, that used to work for them, it's just not going to work anymore. They're not working for them anymore. That time went really quick. I'm going to come back with part 2, and I'm going to get more into what I'm talking about this morning, learning how to read these scriptures with your third eye. I'll be right back.